Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody today finds you well. Hope everybody's doing good. I'd like to take this time and thank everybody for coming out to the house of the Lord today. I know you'll be blessed. Shows your willingness and faithfulness to God's word. I hope this message will bless you. I ask God to open up your ears and your heart and ask God to bless us all here so that the power of His word can change our lives. The message that I'll be sharing with you today has a title is What Foundation Will You Build Your House On? Think about that. In order for a house to stand, it has to have a good foundation underneath of it. The key is the foundation that we build upon. So let's go to God's Word and find from Matthew chapter 7. And Jesus is going to introduce us to two characters in this story. He's going to talk about a wise man and a foolish man. And let's get into this story here and find out what Jesus is talking about these two characters of this story. In Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 26. Verse 24 says, Therefore, whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them or acts upon them, I will liken him to a wise man who builds his house on the rock. In verse 25, and the rains descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fail, for it was founded on the rock. Now look what Jesus says here. I liken him to a wise man because he built his house on a rock, which is good foundation to build upon. And when the rains descend, the floods came, and the winds blew, they beat on that house, but it did not fall because he acted upon what he was hearing. He was not just a hearer, but he was a doer of the word. So Jesus said he was a wise man. Let's look at the other character that Jesus is teaching us about here. Verse 26. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sands. And the rains descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was that fall. Now listen, Jesus said this was a foolish man who heard the word, but he didn't act upon his faith and didn't do anything with the word. So Jesus says he was a foolish man because he built his house on the sands. And when the weathers came, the winds blew, the floods came, and the rain descended. And great was that fall. Now we're looking at here, and Jesus talked about these two different characteristics of these two men. The two keys that we're going to look at here is a wise man is one who hears his word, acts upon what he hears, and Jesus says he built his house on the rock. But the foolish man was the one that was only a hearer, didn't believe in it, so he didn't act upon it, and his house was built on the sand. So we want to take thought about the foundation that we build upon and learn that Jesus says that these are the wise men that build their house on the rock. Now, if you're going to get to the mountaintop, now remember that this message started back in chapter 5 in Jesus' teaching about all this that goes into leading up to this chapter 7 where he talks about the foolish and the wise man. If you're going to reach your mountaintops, you're going to have to build on a sure foundation, which is Jesus' word. And we learned that the wise man was the one that did his word and acted upon what he heard. And Jesus said he had a sure foundation and his teachings will stand the test of times. So I want to thank you for today for this message. I hope you were blessed from it. Remember that going forward, acting upon what you hear will get you to your mountaintops to have that sure foundation that you can build upon Jesus' word. So when the storms come, the winds blow, the rains beat upon your house, you'll be like the wise man and build it on a sure, solid foundation of Jesus' teachings. Well, I hope you got blessed from this. I know I sure did. Remember, hope this lasts with you for a long time. Thank you very much.